Have you ever stood up from your chair and felt your knees buckle just a little? Or maybe your legs feel stiff in the morning, like they aged overnight. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Millions of older adults across America experience a slow, creeping weakness in their legs, and most of them have been told the same thing. It's just part of getting older. But what if that explanation isn't the whole truth? For decades, leg weakness in seniors has been brushed off as an unavoidable part of aging. Doctors often focus on symptoms, not root causes. Commercials push painkillers, mobility aids, or fancy therapy gadgets. Rarely do they talk about what's quietly missing inside the body. But growing research now reveals that many of the mobility problems people face after the age of 60 aren't due to aging alone. Instead, they're linked to silent nutritional deficiencies, ones that go undetected and untreated for years. You see, our bodies rely on a very specific set of nutrients to repair muscle, connect nerves, and keep balance strong. And 3 vitamins in particular play an outsized role in keeping your legs stable, flexible, and strong, especially at night, when your body does its deepest repair work. These vitamins aren't new. They aren't expensive, but they've been quietly ignored because they don't bring big profits to pharmaceutical companies or supplement giants. That's why most people have never heard their doctor talk about them. The real tragedy is this: many seniors lose their strength, independence, and even their safety. Not because their bodies are too old, but because their recovery system is undernourished. When your muscles don't rebuild overnight, when your nerves can't transmit signals fast enough, your legs become unsteady. It starts with slower movements. Then, a stumble. Then a fall. By the time most people realize something's wrong, the damage has already set in. Imagine 2 people, both aged 70. One wakes up stiff and slow every morning. The other moves confidently, climbs stairs, and goes for walks without fear. The difference? It might just be which nutrients their body has or is missing while they sleep. It's time to stop blaming age for everything. Yes, the body changes with time. Yes, bones thin and muscles tire faster. But weakness is not inevitable. In many cases, it's reversible. And the first step to reversing it is understanding that your legs need more than movement. They need support at the cellular level. This isn't just about supplements. It's about recognizing patterns. If you feel tingling in your calves, if your feet get numb by noon, or if you've started avoiding stairs without realizing why, your body may be sending signals. Signals that something deeper is off balance. By identifying these early signs and correcting the deficiencies behind them, you can give your legs a second chance. Not through extreme workouts or expensive treatments, but by feeding them the precise nutrients they've been missing, especially at night, when the body naturally repairs. It's like watering a plant before bed, so it can bloom in the morning. So, before we move forward, pause and ask yourself, have your legs felt different lately? Heavier? Slower? Do you chalk it up to aging? Or are you open to the possibility that there's something you can actually do about it? Because in the next sections, we're going to uncover the 3 most powerful, research-backed vitamins for restoring leg strength in people over 60. Each one plays a different role. Each one is supported by clinical evidence. And each one could help you regain balance, strength, and confidence starting tonight. There's a quiet breakdown that begins in the body around age 60. It's not always dramatic. It doesn't come with alarms or flashing warnings. Instead, it starts small. A bit of numbness in the feet, a strange tingling at night, maybe a sense of heaviness in the calves, or an occasional misstep while walking across the kitchen. Most people ignore it, thinking it's just stiffness or fatigue. But underneath those subtle signs, something crucial is missing: vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is not just another item on a multivitamin label. It's one of the most essential nutrients for muscle control, nerve communication, and energy metabolism. Think of it as the wiring that keeps your brain and muscles talking to each other clearly and quickly. Without enough B12, that connection begins to fray. And when the messages from your brain to your legs slow down, every movement becomes riskier. Now here's the twist. Even if you eat plenty of protein meat, fish, eggs, your body might still be starving for B12. Why? Because as we age, the stomach loses its ability to extract this vitamin from food. After 60, the production of stomach acid decreases sharply. That acid is what's needed to release B12 from the protein it's bound to. So even if your plate looks healthy, your bloodstream might not be getting the nutrients it needs. The consequences? They creep up quietly. First, it's harder to lift your legs into the car. Then, stairs take longer. Later, you find yourself stumbling over nothing. All of these can be early signs that your nervous system isn't getting the support it needs. Clinical studies have shown that low B12 levels can mimic the symptoms of neurological diseases like Parkinson's or diabetic neuropathy. It's not just about feeling tired, it's about losing control. One large study followed more than 2,000 seniors and found that those with low B12 were 3 times more likely to have difficulty walking. The risk of falling went up by over 60%. These are not minor changes. They're life-altering, and they're preventable. The good news, B12 is easy to restore. But the timing and the form matter. The best time to take B12 is before bed, when your body naturally enters its repair cycle. During sleep, your nervous system resets. Damaged nerve tissue begins to rebuild. Signals get recalibrated. But if B12 isn't present during that window, the healing doesn't happen. You wake up just as stiff or worse. There's also the question of form. For seniors, the most effective version is methylcobalamin. It's already active and doesn't require conversion in the liver. And because many older adults struggle with digestion, the best way to take it is under the tongue, a sublingual tablet. It dissolves directly into your bloodstream, bypassing the gut entirely. That means faster results and less strain on your system. And results do happen. In clinical settings, seniors who took daily B12 supplements saw improvements in muscle coordination, balance, and energy within just 2 weeks. One striking case involved a man in his 70s who couldn't walk more than 10 minutes without help. After 6 weeks on nightly B12, he was moving independently again. These aren't miracles. They're the result of meeting your body's biological needs. So if your legs feel slower lately, if you've noticed odd sensations in your feet or calves, or if you simply want to prevent the downward slide so many face after 60, B12 might be your missing link. It's not about popping pills. It's about restoring the foundation, your nervous system's ability to function smoothly, safely, and consistently. Your muscles are ready to perform. Your joints are trying to keep up. But none of it works if your nerves aren't firing properly. That's where B12 comes in. It bridges the gap between thought and action, between effort and motion, and taken at the right time, in the right form, it can make the difference between a life of hesitations and one of confident steps. If you've ever felt sore the day after a simple walk, or if your legs ache even when you haven't done much, your body might be sending you a clear message. It's not just wear and tear. It's not just aging. It could be a quiet shortage of one of your body's most important recovery tools, vitamin D3. Most people know vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin. They think of it in connection with bones or maybe immune health. But what many don't realize is that after the age of 60, vitamin D3 becomes one of the most critical factors in maintaining muscle strength, especially in the legs. And what's even more surprising? It works best when taken before bed. Let's break this down. Your muscles don't actually grow during the day. They grow, heal, and rebuild at night. That's when your body releases hormones, initiates repair cycles, and recharges cellular energy. But here's the catch. This process depends heavily on having the right nutrients available during sleep, and vitamin D3 sits at the center of that process. Vitamin D3 directly supports muscle protein synthesis. the creation and repair of muscle fibers. Without enough of it, your muscles simply can't rebuild themselves efficiently. That's why older adults with low D3 levels often experience a strange kind of weakness. Not just tiredness, but a deep, dull ache that never quite goes away. It's not your imagination, it's biology. Now here's where things get serious. Studies have shown that over 70% of seniors in the United States are deficient in vitamin D3. That's not a small number. And what makes it worse is that the body's natural ability to make D3 from sunlight drops dramatically with age. By the time you're 65, your skin produces less than 1/4 of the D3 it used to, even if you spend time outside. That means food and supplements are no longer optional. They're essential. So what happens when you restore D3 levels, especially at night? The difference can be dramatic. A major clinical study found that seniors who took vitamin D3 before bed gained nearly 20% more leg strength in just 3 months. They also experienced a 34% drop in falls. That's not just stronger legs, that's real safety, independence, and peace of mind. But D3 does more than just rebuild muscle. It also calms inflammation, the kind of low-grade chronic swelling that builds up in your tissues over time. That burning feeling in your thighs at night? That tightness in your calves? It might not be just fatigue. It could be microinflammation, and vitamin D3 helps regulate it. By taking it before bed, you align it with the body's natural anti-inflammatory processes that happen during deep sleep. And yes, timing matters. Most people take D3 in the morning, but that's a missed opportunity. The receptors in your muscles that respond to vitamin D are most active at night, especially during the deepest phases of sleep. That's when your body is doing the hard work of healing. So if you're taking your D3 at breakfast, your body might be wasting its potential. By moving it to bedtime, you give your muscles the fuel they need, right when they need it most. There's also the question of absorption. Vitamin D3 is fat-soluble, which means it absorbs better with a little bit of healthy fat, like a few almonds or a spoon of avocado. But you don't need a full meal. In fact, taking it with a heavy dinner can slow down digestion and disrupt sleep. A small, smart snack works best. The recommended amount varies, but most seniors benefit from 2,000 to 4,000 international units per day. Of course, the ideal dose depends on your blood levels, so if you're able, get tested. And always choose D3, not D2. The body absorbs and uses D3 far more effectively. So, if you wake up sore after basic activity, if your balance feels off, or if your legs feel tired even on rest days, your body might be running low on vitamin D3. But this isn't about adding another pill to your shelf. It's about giving your body what it's been quietly asking for: the support to recover fully, rebuild naturally, and restore strength from the inside out. The answer doesn't lie in pushing harder or doing more. It lies in smarter timing, better tools, and respecting the rhythm of how your body heals. And when it comes to muscle recovery after 60, nothing supports that rhythm quite like vitamin D3, especially at night, when your body's ready to do its best work. When people talk about vitamins for aging bodies, you hear the usual names. Calcium for bones, D3 for immunity, maybe magnesium for sleep. But there's one vitamin almost no one talks about, yet it plays a game-changing role in how your muscles repair, your bones strengthen, and your legs hold you steady. That vitamin is K2, not K1, the blood-clotting vitamin found in leafy greens. We're talking about K2 specifically, the MK7 form, which works deep inside the tissues of your body to direct calcium where it's needed and switch on the genes responsible for strength and mobility. It's one of the most underappreciated nutrients in senior health, and if you're over 60 and your legs feel weaker than they used to, this might be the missing link. Here's the reality. As we age, calcium begins to drift. Without enough K2 in your system, calcium doesn't always go into your bones. It starts depositing into your arteries, your joints, and even your soft tissues. That's why some seniors who take calcium or D3 still experience stiffness or even worsening joint pain because the calcium has no proper guidance. That's the role of K2. It's the traffic controller, making sure calcium gets where it's supposed to go. But it does something even more important for your legs. K2 helps activate a protein called osteocalcin, which not only builds bone, but also boosts glucose use in your muscle cells. That means stronger contractions, better endurance, and more resilience when you stand, walk, or move. In one study published in Nutrients, older adults taking K2 for just 8 weeks saw a 21% improvement in quadricep strength and a 31% gain in balance. These aren't minor improvements. They're the difference between feeling fragile and moving freely. And just like with D3, timing matters. The most powerful results came when K2 was taken at night. Why? Because your body enters a deep rebuilding phase during sleep. This is when your bones refresh their mineral structure. This is when muscles regenerate. And K2 works best when it's present during that specific window. It's not about taking more, it's about taking smarter. There's another reason K2 is critical for people over 60. It stays in the body much longer than other vitamins. The MK7 form, in particular, can remain active for up to 3 days. That means better consistency, more stable calcium regulation, and less strain on your system. But here's the catch. K2 is extremely rare in modern diets. It's found mainly in fermented foods like natto, aged cheeses, and certain cured meats. Unless you're eating those daily, chances are your levels are low. And when K2 is missing, the consequences stack up silently. Tighter calves, creakier knees, a strange nagging weakness that doesn't improve even with exercise. You might feel like your strength is slipping away, but it's not because you're getting old. It's because your body doesn't have the tools to rebuild yet. Adding K2 to your nighttime routine can change that. It enhances the effects of D3. It protects your arteries. It improves blood flow and glucose metabolism inside muscle cells. That's especially important for seniors managing prediabetes or poor circulation. In fact, some studies show that K2 may help reduce insulin resistance, a hidden factor in muscle fatigue and slow recovery. Taking it is simple. Look for the MK7 form in doses between 100 and 200 micrograms. Pair it with a bit of healthy fat, just like D3, to improve absorption, and take it at night, right before bed, when your body is primed for deep repair. So if your legs feel tighter than they used to, if your knees complain after just a short walk, or if you've noticed your stride slowing down despite your efforts to stay active, it might not be your muscles that are failing. It might be your internal system of repair that's underpowered. K2 is the quiet nutrient that makes that system work again. You don't need to overhaul your lifestyle. You don't need to chase trends or extreme routines. You need consistency. You need timing. And you need the vitamins that most people overlook, starting with K2, the nighttime switch that tells your bones and muscles, it's time to rebuild. Knowing what your body needs is only half the journey. The other half is doing something about it consistently, calmly, and with care. For many seniors, the hardest part of improving health isn't understanding what's missing. It's fitting new habits into an already full life. That's why creating a simple, reliable bedtime routine to include vitamin B12, D3, and K2 can make all the difference, not just for your legs, but for your entire sense of strength and balance. Let's begin with a simple truth. Your body has a rhythm. It runs on cycles of rest, recovery, and renewal. And the most important of those cycles happens at night. While you sleep, your muscles rebuild. Your nerves recalibrate. Your bones reabsorb calcium and reinforce their structure. This process is quiet, invisible, and deeply powerful. But it only works when the right nutrients are present at the right time. That's why bedtime is the best moment to deliver these 3 essential vitamins. Start with vitamin B12. Because absorption through the gut is often impaired in older adults, the most effective form is a small sublingual tablet, one that dissolves under the tongue. No need to swallow. No need to digest. Just let it melt slowly. And within minutes, it enters your bloodstream directly. Aim for 1,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin, the active, bioavailable form, about 30 minutes before you go to bed. Try to take it on an empty stomach, or at least 2 hours after dinner. That way, it won't compete with food for absorption. Next comes vitamin D3. Choose a soft gel or capsule containing at least 2,000 international units of cholecalciferol, the natural form your body makes from sunlight. Because D3 is fat-soluble, take it with a small snack that contains a bit of healthy fat. A few almonds, a spoonful of yogurt, a sliver of cheese. Avoid heavy meals, which can disrupt both absorption and sleep. Ideally, take it at the same time as your B12, a shared moment of care that signals to your body. It's time to repair. Finally, add vitamin K2. Look for the MK7 form, in doses between 100 and 200 micrograms. This version stays active in your system longer and works hand in hand with D3 to guide calcium where it belongs. Taking it together with your D3 before bed creates a synergy, one nutrient drawing in the calcium, the other making sure it lands in your bones, not your arteries or joints. Now, let's talk about the power of habit. Your bedtime routine doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, the simpler it is, the more likely you'll stick with it. Consider setting up a small tray by your bedside. Include a glass of water, your supplements, and maybe a calming item like a book, a journal, or a cup of warm herbal tea. Let this become your nightly ritual, not a chore, but an act of self-respect. A quiet message to your body. I see you. I'm supporting you. You're not alone in this process. Consistency is what brings results. These vitamins aren't quick fixes. They don't mask symptoms like medications. They nourish systems. They repair roots. And when taken regularly, in the right form and at the right time, they create a foundation for strength that doesn't fade overnight. You'll start to notice the difference in subtle ways. Less stiffness in the morning, a steadier step, a stronger push as you rise from your chair. And perhaps most importantly, this routine can give you back something deeper, a sense of control, a quiet confidence that you are not at the mercy of age, but in a partnership with your body, that by showing up every night with intention and care, you are choosing strength over fear, recovery over resignation. So, set out your B12, your D3, your K2. Make space for them in your night. And in return, let your body do what it was always meant to do, heal itself, one quiet hour at a time. Sometimes the biggest improvements in health don't come from pills, prescriptions, or procedures. They come from small, deliberate changes, the kind you can do every day, without side effects, without cost, and without needing anyone's permission. When it comes to rebuilding leg strength after 60, these changes are not optional. They are essential. And when paired with the right vitamins at night, they can create a healing momentum that builds day after day. The first habit is hydration. It sounds too simple to matter, but the truth is, most seniors are mildly dehydrated and don't even realize it. As you age, your sense of thirst weakens. That means your body might be low on fluids even when you don't feel thirsty. And that low-grade dehydration has real consequences. It thickens your blood, slows circulation, and makes it harder for your muscles to get the nutrients they need. Without enough water, vitamin B12 can't reach your nerves. D3 can't distribute through your tissues, and K2 can't move calcium effectively. The fix is not to chug water all at once. It's to sip steadily throughout the day. Aim to drink a small glass of water every 90 minutes while you're awake. Keep a cup near your reading chair or by the sink. If plain water feels dull, Add a slice of lemon or cucumber. And about an hour before bed, taper off to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. This slow, steady hydration pattern supports healthy circulation and allows your bedtime supplements to do their job more effectively. When the river flows smoothly, healing moves with it. The second habit is about your last meal of the day. Many seniors eat heavy dinners, lots of bread, rice, or sugary treats thinking it helps them sleep. But that late-night starch can silently interfere with muscle recovery. Why? Because it triggers insulin spikes, promotes inflammation, and forces your body to focus on digestion rather than repair. Your sleep becomes more about processing food than restoring tissue. Instead, try ending your day with a light, protein-based meal. A palm-sized piece of grilled chicken, a boiled egg, or a bit of cottage cheese, paired with steamed greens or a simple salad. Nothing fancy, just clean, gentle nourishment. Then wait at least 2 hours before taking your vitamins and heading to bed. That quiet period gives your digestive system a break and sets the stage for deep muscle repair. One study showed that seniors who ate light dinners had fewer leg cramps, better vitamin absorption, and deeper sleep within 2 weeks. It's not about eating less, it's about eating smarter. The third habit is movement. Not exercise, not workouts, just gentle, intentional leg movement before bed. Why? Because muscles are like sponges. They soak up nutrients better when they've been squeezed. A few minutes of light motion stimulates blood flow, tells your nerves that your legs are alive, and primes the tissue for repair. Think of it as opening the windows before fresh air comes in. Try this before getting into bed. 10 seated leg extensions, 5 slow heel raises, a few ankle circles while sitting in your favorite chair. No equipment, no sweat, just movement. One study in geriatric care found that 5 minutes of pre-bed leg motion increased nighttime blood flow by over 20% and significantly reduced morning stiffness and balance problems. It's not magic. It's biology in motion. These 3 habits, staying hydrated, eating smart at dinner, and moving gently before bed, may seem small. But stacked together day after day, they form a system, a rhythm, a quiet, powerful structure that supports your body's ability to rebuild itself. And when combined with your nightly dose of B12, D3, and K2, they become more than habits. They become anchors, a way to tell your body every day, I'm still here, I'm still moving, I still care. And that matters, because healing is not just about the vitamins you take, it's about the environment you create inside your body and the respect you show it through your daily choices. Your legs are not past saving. They are waiting to respond. Give them the support they need, and they will carry you farther than you think. I've met thousands of men and women over 65 in my lifetime. Some were still hiking mountains. Others struggled to rise from a chair without wincing. And what stood out most to me over the years wasn't who had the most expensive doctors or the newest gadgets. It was who had the will to listen to their body, make small shifts, and trust in the slow, steady process of real recovery. Because the truth is this: strength doesn't fade overnight, and it doesn't return overnight either. But with the right tools, the right timing, and a little faith, it can return. So, let me speak plainly. If your legs feel weaker, if you're not walking as confidently, if your balance feels off, or you dread the stairs, you are not broken. You are not just old. You are not beyond help. Your body is still working, still listening, still trying. What it needs is not punishment or panic. It needs support. B12, to restore the nerve signals that power movement. D3, to rebuild the muscle fibers that hold you steady. K2, to guide the calcium, strengthen the bones, and light up your muscle memory again. And alongside them, hydration, better evening meals, and small movements that tell your legs they still matter. None of this requires you to change your life overnight. None of it demands perfection. You don't need to train like an athlete or count every calorie. You simply need to begin. tonight, with a quiet commitment, with a bedtime routine, with a belief that your best steps may still be ahead. Too often, people wait until they've fallen, until the pain is too loud, until the independence is slipping. But you don't have to wait. You can act now, gently and wisely. You can stack small victories, a steadier step, a deeper sleep, a stronger rise from your favorite chair. And here's something else I've seen. Those who improve the most are not always the youngest, the fittest, or the strongest. They're the ones who decide they're not done living, not done moving, not done showing up for themselves. So if no one else has told you lately, I will. Your legs are not just limbs. They are your foundation. They are your freedom. And they deserve more than a shrug and a sigh. They deserve attention, care, and consistent nourishment. Starting tonight, put your B12 tablet by the sink. Set out your D3 and K2 beside a small snack. Pour a glass of water. Do a few gentle movements. Let this routine become your declaration. I am still here, and I am still strong. Because strength, in the end, is not measured by how fast you run or how far you walk. It's measured by how willing you are to support yourself, to believe in your body's ability to heal, to choose, night after night, the quiet path back to confidence. And if you walk that path even slowly, I promise you, you will feel the difference.